Hello, welcome to Practical Piano. My name is Tia. In this series, I record every time that I practice so that you can get an accurate picture of what practice can look like over time. Now, I had quite the week. I haven't practiced in about a week, so today we're going to do a thorough warm-up. But before we get into the actual practice session, I want to tell you about a few hacks that make carrying around your music stuff easier. So this is going to be useful for students who are either in elementary, high, or college, or if you're going from your job straight to your lesson, rather than like stopping at home, picking up your books. Or even, maybe you're a homeschooling family and you've got a lot of things to tote around, you've got a few kids, and we've all got to go to the piano lesson together, and you want all your music in a compact form, and you don't want to lose stuff. So here are a few hacks to keep your music easy to travel and easy to perform with. Now the first hack is print off all the songs that you're going to play. So here I have the Marshmallow World, which I'm playing for Christmas. I have Sir Duke, which I'm playing for January. And I've got them in a duotone. You could use a binder. In page protectors, keeps them nice. If you use a binder and you punch holes into the page, you're gonna find, especially if you're traveling a lot, the pages are gonna fall out. They're just gonna rip and fall out. You don't want that. Page protectors are fairly cheap and pretty economical, and it makes a huge difference. Now the other benefit of a page protector is I can take one of my reusable markers and I can write in, what's this note? That is an A. I can write it actually on the page protector, and then I don't have to worry about an eraser, because you can scratch that off with your fingers after it dries, or you can put a new marker on it and rub it off. And it keeps the original sheets in really good shape. So again, if you have multiple kids or multiple people using the music in the same house, that is a good way to preserve your page. So that's the first hack. Get everything photocopied and in a compact folder. And I've made two folders. I've made one for work and one for home. Now I don't have to travel with them. So that makes things much, much easier. This way, you know, if you're sending a kid to school with 3 piano books and their regular stuff, that's going to be pretty heavy, but this is very light in comparison to the 2 books that these songs came out of. And I travel on foot with a pack. It does make a huge difference over time when you can lighten your load. Now, here's a different hack. Okay, let's say I've got a 4-page song and I'm gonna go perform, okay? So if I perform this, you can only see my first 2 pages and then my next 2 pages. But my piano teacher told me about this. If you photocopy page 3 and 4, you can tape them so that everything lays out straight when you unfold them. And then voila, you've got the whole thing there. And you could do this differently. You could take, instead of photocopying page 3 and 4, maybe you start on page 3, you put page 1 and 2 over here. If you've got a 6-page song, you start on page 3, you put 1 and 2 over here, and 5 and 6 over here. Okay, so that is another handy hack. That will help you with performing because you will eliminate the page turns. And you can take something like that. I could, theoretically, so I've got this, I could tape the first page to the sheet protector itself and have this come out this way. And I could tape the 4th page, there's no 4th page, the theoretical 4th page to the sheet protector so it would come out this way. And so this way, and then when you're done with it, you could just fold it back in. So that is handy. Okay, that's it for the hacks. we're going to get into the practice session. Now, I haven't practiced in a while, so we're going to warm up. We're going to do some arpeggios because I had a run-in. I was teaching arpeggios to a student today. I don't like arpeggios, and so we're going to play the arpeggios because I have been reminded by teaching about them that I need to practice them. We're also going to play some scales. I find scales are the best thing for a warm-up. I believe Hanon is overrated. It's very repetitive and boring, and there are pages and pages and pages of Hanon. And so I wouldn't recommend Hanon, but if you like patterns and you like playing something kind of mindlessly for like 5 minutes, Hanon would be good for you. If you get bored very easily, you don't want Hanon. You want something else. Scales are short, they're pattern, but I can play 6 different scales in a very brief amount of time. Okay, we're going to do melodic. We're going to start with E. For me, melodic scales are tricky because I always remember the harmonic, and then I think of the melodic as a variation of the harmonic. So to go straight into melodic is tough for me, so I need to work on doing that. We're going to do that one again because I played the wrong note. Try that again because my left hand fingers, I ended on the wrong finger. If you ended on the wrong finger, you made a wrong cross or tuck somewhere. Oh, I did it again. I hit the wrong note. So here's what's happening. In F sharp, minor melodic, I'm supposed to play an F, but I'm reaching for an E, which would be right if it was harmonic, but it's not. So we got to try again. There we go. Now the reason I point that out to you, I'm reaching for an E when I need to play an F, is because I want to be training you how to look at your mistakes and analyze them and fix them. If you see me do that over and over again, it's going to become part of your playing. And this is the Apprenticed model that I believe in. I demonstrate for you how to practice, and you will naturally start to incorporate things into your practice. Just like that. You want to analyze what you did wrong so that you can think about it and solve that problem later. Okay, we're doing G sharp. This one's going to be hard. Oh, I messed it up. Oh, and I think I went too far as well. Now, because I knew it was going to be hard, because I struggle with this one, I've circled it, that indicates that I need a lot of practice on it. I'm going slower, and I'm being careful. Now, the mistake I made just now, when I played it before, is I once again tried to play the harmonic instead of the melodic, but I didn't even get the harmonic bit. So rather than F, G, I played E, F. So I'm mixing up my white keys today. Now that helps me. You're going to have different weaknesses on different days. So when you notice patterns like, oh, I mixed up 2 of my white keys. Oh, I mixed up 2 of my white keys again. Today's going to be a mixing up white keys day. If you go to play a song and you're trying to play B flats instead of F sharps, this is a mixing up the B flats and F sharps day. There's all kinds of things that can happen that don't normally happen. And it's okay if you're doing things that are not normal. It's normal to be making abnormal mistakes because your brain cycles through different ways to learn things. And you're experiencing different things throughout your day. One practice will not be the same as another practice. So, rather than put yourself down like, ugh, why am I making this mistake now? There's nothing wrong with you, actually. If you treat yourself as if there's something wrong with you, that's not going to be good for your heart. So, and I mean like your emotional heart, although it might be bad for your physical heart. I don't know. When you find you're making the same mistakes, accept them. I accept that I'm messing up white keys today. There's nothing wrong with me for doing that. Humans make mistakes. This is the mistake I'm making today. But now that I've analyzed it and identified it, I can watch out because I know I'm going to make this mistake. So the more you accept the flaws in your practice, the more you can analyze them, fix them, and move on. You will eventually work through a lot of different errors that way. But if you start by going, ugh, what's wrong with me? I can't do this correctly. Automatically you're putting yourself in a defensive mode because you're putting yourself down for the mistake rather than the encouraging thing is, oh, okay, we're doing something wrong. What are we doing wrong? Let's find it. Let's do something about it. Let's move on because there's nothing wrong with me. Mistakes happen. I'm a human. I make mistakes. I'm not going to over talk about that. Let's move on. Okay, we're doing this G sharp again. Whoa. That's wrong. Do, 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 do. This is why G sharp is hard for me. The fingering changes on the way down. Okay, left-hand fingering changes on the way down because we're playing 3 sharps in a row instead of 2 sharps in a row, so we need different fingers available. Left-hand fingers change descending. Descending means on the way down. Okay, we're running out of time, and I haven't finished my warm-up. That's okay. We'll play some arpeggios like I said I would. We'll do F major, we'll do A major, we'll do B major, because these are all different shapes. F major is all white keys. That's the root. First inversion. That's the second inversion. We're going to do A major, which has 1 black key. That's the timer, it's almost time to go. We'll do B major, which has 2 black keys. That was still the root. I just played it twice because the first time was messy. Here's the first inversion. Play the first inversion again. Now what's happening up there was I wasn't stretching my fingers far enough to reach the correct notes. And then I was rocking back onto A instead of B. Let's do first inversion again. Second inversion. Great. We'll do one more. We'll do E flat major. It's got 2 black keys as well, but where B was white, black, black, E flat is black, white, black. Different pattern, different fingers, different feel. So that's why I'm doing this one. Wonderful. Now I will have another opportunity to practice tonight. And since I've had a good warm-up, the next time I sit down, we're going to work on Marshmallow World. If we have time, we'll do the end of Rhondo Alla Turca, but we might not. So I'll see you in a minute. Hello, I'm back, and I'm going to actually start with Rhondo Alla Turca, and then we'll do Marshmallow World. Because I need to get this last section of Rhondo Alla Turca up to a more fluent level. Oh, you know what? Let's go from... Ooh. I did it wrong again. Okay, what is my first chord here? A. Is going better than before. Sometimes when you take a break and come back, things are better. But notice, that before I played it, hands together and just went for it, I refreshed, okay, what's my left hand doing? I didn't refresh what my right hand was doing because I'm pretty confident about my right hand, and that was really no problem. But the left hand I wasn't sure about, so I went over my left hand first. It's sometimes a mistake when you take a break from a song. It's a mistake to think that you're going to sit down and be able to play it right away. Often we need a warm-up after a break of the music. That is a perfect example. I was like, I can nail this section. I've played this a million times. And then as I started going at it, mistakes. So I have to slow down, treat it like it's new. It is I try to always err on the side of lower expectations. Because if I expect that this is going to be rusty after a break, that's probably a realistic expectation. If I expect it's going to be fine, well, it is going to be fine, but is it going to be as fluent as it was? No, it's not going to be as fluent as it was. So if I expect to be able to sit down and play it fluently after not practicing, that's an unrealistic expectation, and it's not going to benefit me because I'll approach the song as if I'm already fluent, when after a break you need to approach the song as if you don't know it. There we go, that's better. Now, what I learned about this section, I listened to, I can't remember her name, but I'll put it on the screen and then I'll link you guys to the video. Now, I probably won't take all the advice, even though she is a performer and high class, and we could consider her a master. I still don't take everybody's advice. I take everything and I measure it against my experience with piano, my many teachers. I've had 5 really good teachers. I think 5. I may as well tell you. Mrs. Hambley, Mrs. McConnell, Mrs. Albert, Amy Chu, I believe, Georgia. Brenda was a pretty good teacher. I've had about 6 really good teachers, and I've had 2 or 3 not very good or even bad ones. I've had 6 very good teachers. I've been exposed to many genres, and I've basically specialized in classical because I've taken the RCM exams, and so there's a lot of classical focus in there. So I weigh, plus different, even, you'll notice, even professionals, even masters in piano, different people have different tastes, different training. So the advice this one lady gives is going to be different, possibly, than the advice that another person gives on playing Rhondo alla Turca. But, that said, the thing she said about this octave passage, she said to keep your fingers close to the keys and don't rotate from the wrist, which was what I was trying to do, because from my experience with piano, if you rotate from your wrist, you can go faster. However, it's not as accurate as using your fingers, and I believe that's why she was saying stay close to the keys and try not to flop your wrist, because you're not going to be as accurate. Now, we're going to put that to the test and see if it makes the playing better. And I have a feeling it's going to. So here's how I normally practice. Whoops. Going too fast there, and my hand is a bit sore. But what I'm noticing is while I'm going from the wrist, I'm sticking my fingers out straight. There's actually quite a bit of tension in there. So let's play with our fingers close to the keys like she was saying. Already that's much more accurate. I'm able to hit the keys with more accuracy than when I was going like this. Now we'll do some with the left hand because my right hand is a bit sore. My thumb is too heavy. Now, before I write off that practice technique, I'm going to re-watch her video and make sure that I'm actually doing what she says to do. And to do that, I have to be able to watch the video and to practice. So, I'll probably do that at home so that I can set my computer up and watch the video and still practice in front of the camera. Anyways, so I'll try practicing like that for some time and see over the long run, does it help? Does that technique help? And if it helps, I'll incorporate it. Now, some things that some people tell you to do may work for others and not for you. because we have different sizes of hands, we have different lengths of fingers, we have different strength and different reach ability. And perhaps if your fingers are quite small and you can't reach the octave, then you'll need to do more with your wrist because actually your fingers can't reach it. So my fingers can reach the octave. We'll try her practice technique. If it helps, great, and if it doesn't, okay. There's a phrase that means you test it on yourself. We use it a lot in keto. It's based on the idea of anecdotal evidence where you have case-by-case instances. So my case may be different than your case, may be different than someone else's case. And so when you test something, you must test it on yourself to see if it's good for you. Because just because it's good for everybody doesn't mean it's necessarily good for you. Everybody, air quotes. There are some things that are actually good for everybody. Okay. Now we're gonna do the marshmallow world. And 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. Now we spend quite a bit of time here in the lower section, whereas with Rhondo we spend more time up in the higher section. Move on your bench or move your chair as needed. On benches and chairs, it's more important that you sit at the right height than you sit on a piano bench. So make sure your seating is stable and brings you to the correct height. The correct height, ideally, is I'm a little short right now. I'm a little low because you can see my hand is angling up. But if I sit on the bench, it's a little high. And I would prefer to be a little low rather than a little high. Ideally, what you want is to have your elbow by your side and your wrist parallel with the floor, because this will give you a better position for your wrist, more ergonomical, and you'll be able to move more efficiently and effectively from your fingers. You'll be able to activate your muscles better. So it's more important to get the height and the stability correct. So you don't want something on wheels because you'll roll around. If you have something on wheels and that's your only option, put a little rug under it, just like a cheap one from the dollar store if you need, so that it doesn't roll around. If your best chair is too low, get a pillow, get a couple books. I should probably get a little cushion for this one, but that's okay, we'll work on that. If it's too high and you have no other options, you can work with that, but be looking for a solution, because ideally with piano you want to be at a good height because you want good posture. It's better for your hands, it's better for your body. And so you want to facilitate your own good posture as much as possible. Now, why was I talking about that? I forget. Oh, it was about moving left or right on your bench or your chair. Yeah, so move your chair where it needs to be. That's why we have actually piano benches, so that you can shift this way, and you could shift that way, and you could shift into the middle. But the bench is not as important as good posture. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, we're really not going to get past that part. So let's start over here. I need to go a bit slower. This is the wrong note here. This is a G. That's a C. That's definitely a G. And I need to reach up. D. Oh, maybe I had the correct notes. We'll play this section again. Okay, we'll do that again. And 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 Good. All right, so that was a brief practice session. And you know what? After a break, it's a little bit discouraging to do your first practice or two because it feels like you can't. It can be discouraging. It's not always discouraging. It can feel like you can't get enough done in the small amount of time you have. I want to practice more, but I'm not going to have more time today. But the good thing is that focusing on what you don't have is not helpful. The good thing to focus on is that I have the time to practice now. Yay. I did. Awesome. I am being true to myself because piano is my discipline and I must do my disciplines, or I'm not being true to myself. I'm not being true to the my desires as a person. So I can celebrate instead of being like, oh, well, I didn't get much done. I can celebrate that I did sit down and practice. I feel good about what I practiced. We tried out that new technique on Rhondo, Alla, Turca. Marshmallow world is going pretty good. It needs a warm-up. It needs more practice, but it's pretty good. And I went over my arpeggios like I should, even though I don't like them. So these are good things to focus on, and I encourage you, if you're feeling discouraged about your practice, focus on the fact that you did it and that that's in line with who you want to be, presumably. If it's not, you should take a look at that. And the progress you did make, even in the limited amount of time you had. All right, if you liked this video, please like it. If you want more, please subscribe. If you know anyone who would also enjoy it, please share. And if you have any feedback, if you found anything in this video useful, please leave a comment. All right, have a wonderful practice, and I'll see you in the next video.